There will always be people who find the hair in the egg no matter what you do. And what do I mean by that? That's what we call it in my family. Oh, they're the person who finds the hair in the egg, right? So the hair in the egg people are the people that, let's say you're throwing this beautiful dinner party, right? You have all your best china out and the table's laid beautifully, the tablecloth, you have all this amazing food, you have a bouquet of flowers on the table, you have candles, you have everything just so beautiful. And there'll be that one person that will notice that one of the flowers in your beautiful table setting is wilting slightly. And that's what they'll point out. That's what I mean by the hair in the egg people, right? Like, for example, I'm on this it's a group, Facebook group, and it was a post about, what do you do outside of the normal, journaling, meditation to sort of like ground yourself. And so I was telling in the group the story of, my morning journey, my visualization that I do, and about how, I go with this dragon that takes me and does body healing. Like I talked about that. I talked about how I meet my sister in this place and how I imagine, we fly over the planet and I imagine the vibration of the frequency of love, 528, as these little tiny ice crystals that come and they're cooling the planet, right? And they're cooling down people in the sense of, like the rage or whatever we're doing. And it's really a beautiful morning thing that I do, a beautiful meditation. So there was one person who commented, and then instead of seeing like, oh, isn't that beautiful that you do that and that you're having this experience, she said, well, I'm going to opt myself out of that because I don't like the cold and it's not good for my whatever, me being in the cold. And I was like, you're the hair in the egg person. Oh my God. Like instead of looking at the beauty of it, she put her I in it. Well, I don't want, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I realize it's because people need to feel, you know, uh, self-important in a way, and that's the only way that they can, by being the one that points out, the hair in the egg, the one that always points out the one little thing that isn't exactly perfect, or instead of looking at the whole picture. And then you have to wonder, the people that do that, how they must criticize themselves. You feel sorry. Like I just said, oh, no problem. I'm more looking at it as cooling the earth and helping with global warming and cooling the anger, not actually freezing people, but okay, whatever works for you. I was really just, it didn't really like bother me in this sense. I was just kind of laughed to myself because I thought, somebody is sharing something intimate and beautiful, and that's what you got. And so that makes me wonder, wow, what must your life be like that's what you got, right? Like that's who you are. So I can't even imagine what you say to yourself, right? The same thing with the person who comes to the dinner party, and instead of looking at everything beautiful laid out in front of them, the one thing they're focused on is the one flower petal that is slightly wilting. That's where they're putting their energy. And so you have to know deep down inside that when they're dealing with their own life on a daily basis, they must be very, very unhappy. Because if you're only focusing on that one hair in the egg, instead of looking at the whole blessing in front of you, then I can't imagine that feels good inside for your life, right? And I noticed it a lot. I did a couple posts on Stranger Things because I'm a big fan. And I noticed a lot of people writing in these posts. I didn't get on any of them. I'm not writing on any of them, but I just noticed people criticizing. Oh, well, this wasn't as good as this, and this doesn't make sense because that's not reality. And I'm thinking, not reality. We're talking about monsters in an upside down. Okay, whatever. But, and they're going on and on and on about what's not working instead of enjoying the amazing story that the Duffer brothers brought to life, right? Instead of appreciating the story for what the story is, they're looking for all the things that don't work in the story. You're a hair in the egg person, right? Somebody created something beautiful, right? A piece of art, a film, a story, a show, a beautiful work of art, and there you are looking for what's wrong with it. So that's what I mean by the hair in the egg person. So I'm sure, you're going to have those people in your life. And next time you do something and you create something beautiful, and somebody comes up to you and the first thing they do is find the one thing that isn't perfect, just laugh it off because you don't really have to take that on, And I think about all those people who are criticizing Stranger Things. Well, then you go write something better. Go. You do it. You go put something better and make your story perfect and don't expect anybody to find anything wrong with your story, right? And I feel like the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because those two things I've noticed in the last week since the show has ended, and that kept, and every time I would see a comment, I would think hair in the egg person. And then after I wrote what I'm doing, somebody's looking for, the one thing that, well, no, don't put me there. I can't have that. And I'm just like, oh, you're that person. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a post about it because there are many people who are always looking for the one thing that doesn't work instead of looking for the things that do work. And I'm sure that if you're watching my videos and you're seeing my talks, that's not where we're going, right? We want to raise our frequency. We want to go to places of more joy and abundance. We want to have things to be grateful for. We want to open up our hearts, right? So don't be, obviously, the hair in the egg person. If you find that you are always looking for what's not working, retrain yourself to look for what is working and what is beautiful about whatever situation that you find yourself in. Obviously, I'm not talking about going through a trauma, I'm talking about just living day-to-day life. All right, so I just thought I would share that because I was like, oh my God. I'm seeing my sister who passed away. I'm riding on a dragon and I'm having the best time. But we'll make sure that you're not cold. Okay. All right. If people are just they never cease to amaze me, They just never cease to amaze me at how people perceive the world and how we're all different. But it's okay. We're all growing, we're all evolving, and this is how we learn, through other people and through our own experiences. All right, everybody, have a good one. Bye-bye.